Hey, it's Eli, hey Atlas, and if it's true that imitation is the best form of flattery, then isn't it okay to be a copycat? A clone? A lookalike of your favorite artist or heroes from whatever medium you're into? If you're strictly talking art, the industry has seen its fair share of honest proteges and shameless copycats since before it was even considered an industry. So today I'll voice my opinion on the matter, since no one asked me. The most important thing in all of this is context. In the very early days, think classical romantic art, there was a such thing as a master artist and an apprentice. Master painters like Pietro Vannucci, I don't know if I'm saying that right, invited already pretty decent artists like a young Raphael to study at his workshop. And that gave us a whole generation of artists and painters termed Raphaelite artists or Raphaelite artists. Artists trained and turned by Raphael upon his mastery of the arts. This, however, didn't stop his peers at the time, including Michelangelo, from accusing him of plagiarism on a few occasions. Whether or not his claims were true is totally up for debate. Fast forward some 100 years and we reach a point where individualism abounds in art, and self-expression is the most revered element in visual arts. This provides an entry point for everyone from classically trained to the hobbyist to be taken seriously as an artist. But the landscape changes so dramatically from the Renaissance era that imitation is nearly outlawed outside of tribute. But most importantly, the master-apprentice relationship no longer exists outside of the academic sphere. The next generation widely turns to emulation as their primary source of learning. Now this is a good thing and a bad thing. Let's take the comic book industry for example. The 1990s spawned whole companies of clones of their top-selling artists. A majority of the younger Marvel artists, for example, Joe Madureira and early Jim Lee, were all copying Rob Liefeld, the Top Gun artist at the time. And it wasn't just them. Most of the industry was taking a page out of Liefeld's book. Until Lee became the top seller, then most of the industry shifted to his direction, and pretty soon, if you didn't read the cover credits, you really didn't know who was doing the interiors, unless you were looking at the originator, who always did it better, by the way. Now during this time, as the 90s continued and star artists grew at other companies, we got plenty of J. Scott Campbell clones, Todd McFarlane clones, Joe Mad clones, and even some Kevin Nolan ones, among others. This led to oversaturation and eventually burnout and decline in the market. And like the classical academic world, this phase also kind of fizzled out in the mid-2000s when the individual style was the hottest property again. This was an important turning point as well, because plenty of art thieves and plagiarists popped up on the scene, and probably still do, impersonating famous artists, and some were actually making big money off of it. These guys got ultimately found out, called out, and blacklisted from the industry and convention circuits. So what, in my humble opinion, makes Pietro Vannucci's method okay and even advisable, as opposed to the way of the New World? Vannucci and Raphael started with the basics and built up their knowledge of the art form with the intention of expanding and improving their art styles, and they imparted those same disciplines and ideas to their apprentices, whereas the second method features emulation as the end goal. I say all that to say, imitation and being a copycat is totally okay to begin with, especially if you have no other point of reference, since you can start where you are and you can always take your style in a different direction as soon as you get exposed to more styles of art and gain more technical knowledge. In which case, you are not a copycat, just in training. However, if your end goal is to be your favorite artist, you're seriously wasting your time, because you'll always be compared to the original, and if that's really where you want to stop, there's no way you'll ever surpass them. There are plenty of good copycats, but there aren't any famous ones. That about wraps it up for this week's episode of For Future Reference. If you liked the video, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate all the new subscribers that I've gotten the past couple of weeks. Almost to around 2,000 subs. The goal for this year is to get to 10,000 subs, and I know we can make it happen with you guys' help. So definitely make sure you share the video on all the social media and platforms that you are at. And on that same note, you can find me everywhere that you are. I will have the links right down in the corner or on this side. And you guys can check me out on those sites. Give me a follow, give me a like. And again, definitely make sure you subscribe like this video. It's really helping me out. And make sure you stay tuned in next Friday for a new episode of For Future Reference, the vlog series, and this Monday for a new speed art tutorial, walkthrough, anything else that I happen to have going on at the moment, and I'll make a video and upload it. And of course, I take you guys' suggestions as well, so if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, definitely leave your comments below. Let's get a discussion going about this one. I'd like to hear from you guys. You know, have you been copycats before? Is that how you started out? Did you used to trace art? I remember back in the day I started with some How to Draw with Marble books, and I actually found this one still online. It was John Romita did the cover. It was Spider-Man, and they have you trace a lot in that book, and it's basically a good way to start, but again, it's just the way to start. So I want to hear from you guys. You know, are you copycats? Do you know any copycats? Were you a copycat yourself? Did you eventually break out of the habit and get your own style? Let's talk about it. You know, where do you think the cutting off point is, where it's not even just, you know, you're not even like a real artist, I guess, and you're just a clone, you know? So let's get a discussion going in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. To this video, it wasn't a top 5 or anything like that, just kind of something I thought about and thought it would be a pretty good video. Definitely leave your comments below. Let me know if you liked it, what you liked about it. We'll do more topics like this in the future. And yeah, hopefully you guys found this entertaining or informative, or both, even better. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later.
Sana, sumiyo. Andito sa sana. Sa nas panyalitila. Hindi naman makulibay kayo. Ang karahano. Sino nga